Looking for the perfect happy hour to unwind after a long day at work? Look no further than Walter's Indoor-Outdoor Happy Hour, catering to everyone who lives in and around Navy Yard. $5 happy hour options include salmon sliders and house red wine.
NetCredit is here to say yes to a personal loan or line of credit when other lenders say no. Apply in minutes and get a decision as soon as the same day. Loans offered by NetCredit or lending partner banks and serviced by NetCredit. Application subject to review and approval. Learn more at netcredit.com/partner. NetCredit. Credit to the people.
Parker comes set. Kicks, delivers, runners go, swinging a line drive, base hit into left center field toward the gap. Wood cuts it off, but this is going to score 2 runs. Heading for second, diving in without a play is Espinal. A double, 2 RBIs for Espinal. His 7th and 8th of the year. The Reds lead by the score of 2-0.
Here it comes. Swinging a line drive, hooked over the leaping third baseman Tana. It's down the line, headed toward the corner. Racing for the plate is Espinal. Coming around third, Steer. Wood trouble picking it up in the corner, so Steer will score. And in at second with a 2-run double is Tyler Stevenson. 5-0 Cincinnati. All 4 of the walks have come in to score. And a pair of 2-run doubles made it pay.
And welcome to Nats Chat, along with MASNsports.com Nationals insider Mark Zuckerman, who was at Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati. I'm Al Galdi, host of the Al Galdi podcast. The start of the Nationals game at the Cincinnati Reds on Friday night in Game 1 of a 3-game series was delayed by rain for an hour and 51 minutes, and things did not get much better for the Nats after that. A 6-1 loss in a game in which the Nats got worked by Reds ace Hunter Greene, and a game in which the Nats starting pitcher Mitchell Parker struggled for a second consecutive start. The Nats in MLB's 2025 regular season now are 14-19. This installment of Nats Chat is brought to us by the composer of the Nats Chat podcast music, Tim Newmark. Check out his work by visiting timnewmark.com. Newmark is spelled Neumark. You can find us on X at Nats_chat. You can find us on Blue Sky at Nats Chat Podcast. You can email the show, natschatpodcast at gmail.com. And we have a website you could check out too, natschatpodcast.com, at which you could purchase a Nats Chat podcast t-shirt. What has happened to Mitchell Parker? He had been pitching so well, but he, over his last 2 starts now, has been quite bad. Parker on Friday night, 5 runs in 4 innings. He issued 4 walks and a hit by pitch to go with giving up 4 hits, which were 2 doubles and 2 singles. He recorded just 1 strikeout, 83 pitches, 48 strikes, 35 balls. This off what Parker did in the Nats' 8-7 walk-off win over the New York Mets at Nationals Park this past Sunday afternoon. 7 runs, 6 earned in 5 innings. He in that game issued 5 walks, had no strikeouts, gave up 7 hits, 2 doubles, and 5 singles. Mark, this has been quite the drop-off for Mitchell Parker over these last 2 starts.
It's been pretty dramatic, Al, to go from where he was through his first 32 innings this season. He only had 11 walks. So pretty good. Not fantastic, but pretty good. And then you look at the ERA at that point, it's 1.39. Well, what's happened since then? He's walked 9 batters in his last 9 innings, and 7 of those 9 have come across to score. So that tells you what the problem is. He's not getting hit hard. That hasn't been the issue. He's just putting too many guys on base via free pass, and then they come around to score. And he was a little bit at a loss for himself after this one, talking about losing some focus, feeling like he's beating himself, not that other teams are beating him.
Before the outing are good, and then just I lose focus when it matters.
Acknowledging that it's really more mental than anything else. But he's got his work cut out for him now. This is not something you can let linger on, and it's really not something we have seen from him before. And so a little concerning this happens all of a sudden now in back-to-back starts from a guy who we did, not that long ago. We're talking about how great he's looked to start the year and been their most consistent starting pitcher.
So a few things are standing out, right? The first thing is the walks, like you just said. Also, the complete lack of strikeouts. 1 strikeout over his last 2 starts. I know he's not known as a strikeout pitcher, but boy, that is an alarming lack of strikeouts over 2 starts in 2025 MLB, 1 strikeout. And the other thing is he's getting off to bad starts in these starts. In that game against the Mets this past Sunday afternoon, he had that nightmare of a top of the first, 5 runs, 4 earned. And he, in this game on Friday night, got off to a rather rough start. 2 runs in the bottom of the first on back-to-back one-out walks of Matt McLain and Ellie De La Cruz, and a 2-out full count 2-run double by Santiago Espinal to the left center field gap for a 2-0 Reds lead. And, watching the game, you have flashbacks to what happened in that last outing when he had that nightmare of a first inning. He got off to a bad start in this start, and he never really got going on Friday night.
Right. It's like he couldn't recover from it. And you go to the second batter of the game that he faces, Matt McLain. He throws a pitch that sails to the backstop. And it's like everything fell apart after that. He ends up walking him. I think it was 7 straight balls he threw at one point on the back-to-back walks. And he didn't make it sound like he thought that pitch itself was indicative of anything else. He felt that was just a weird one-off where he just kind of lost the grip and the ball sailed on him.
It's just a weird one. I'm trying to not let it snowball.
But it did strike me a little bit that it's only a few pitches into the game, but he has one that's that far off, and then it took him a while, obviously, to recover from it and try to find the strike zone again, and then comes right out in the second inning, leadoff walk. He ends up scoring. The third inning, 1-out walk. He ends up scoring. It's just that same pattern over and over, and it's a problem. You're digging your team into an early hole, and when it's something like that, it does feel like it compounds on you and it gets in your head. We've talked about his defensive struggles and how that's really a psychological thing, a mental hurdle to get over. You hope that this kind of thing doesn't fall into that same category, but it does feel like, and he's kind of admitting himself, that this isn't about mechanics or anything. This is about mentally, once he kind of starts going down the wrong path, he can't get it back again.
So as the Nats were losing this game at the Reds on Friday night, we also had the Nats AAA affiliate, the Rochester Red Wings, winning a bonkers game against the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs, 15-14 in 10 innings. God bless minor league baseball. But the Rochester starting pitcher in that game was Michael Soroka, who continued his minor league rehab assignment and perhaps concluded his minor league rehab assignment. 5 innings, 1 run, 11 strikeouts. Pretty good for a minor league rehab outing. You would think that was Soroka's final outing in terms of this minor league rehab assignment. We've been talking about what's going to happen with Brad Lord once Michael Soroka is ready to be activated off the 15-day injured list. Could it be that Mitchell Parker is the odd man out? Not so much that he would be demoted from the rotation. The thing that struck me was, is there something health-wise going on with Mitchell Parker? Are there any indications that he's struggling from a health standpoint?
There aren't indications. That doesn't mean that there might not be something going on or that they might not be able to claim there's something going on to try to get him right again. And when he was asked after the game about sort of what's next, Davey did point out how they have an off day coming up after the Cleveland series. That's next Thursday, and that maybe they could use that to their advantage in some way. He didn't really specify what that would be, but maybe there's a scenario there in which Soroka comes back and makes his return in one of those games against the Guardians. And then you use that off day as a chance to maybe skip over Parker's start, give him some time to work on some things in the bullpen, bring him back the next time after that. It maybe delays the decision a little bit as far as how they're going to proceed with this. I think there's still a lot they have to sort through. They want to see how Soroka feels the day after. Obviously, a very good start, 11 strikeouts, up over 90 pitches, a lot to like about that, how that went. And I cannot imagine that they're going to say that he needs more work or anything like that. I mean, by all accounts, is healthy. His arm is built up and he had success. There's nothing left to prove on a rehab assignment. So I do think we'll see him, but they've got some things to sort out here over the next few days, and they'll probably wait as long as they can before making that decision. But look for them to maybe use that off day following the Guardians series as a way to reset some things and maybe give Parker some more time before he takes the mound again.
You would think Soroka is chomping at the bit to come off that IL. You know, he has been out for more than a month now. He was placed on the 15-day IL on April 4th, but that was retroactive to April 1st. Here we are now, multiple days into May, right? Friday was May 2nd, and Soroka still making that minor league rehab assignment, but it would appear that that is over, though we shall see. I did want to note this with Nats pitching on Friday night. So the bullpen was good in this game. 4 Nats relievers combined to allow 1 run in 4 innings. Lucas Sims, perfect, bottom of the 5th. Eduardo Salazar did allow a run in the bottom of the 6th. But Cole Henry, a scoreless and hitless bottom of the 7th. And how about Jackson Rutledge? Scoreless bottom of the 8th, 3 swinging strikeouts. Jackson Rutledge now, as a reliever at the major league level this regular season, 8 games, 11 and a third innings, ERA of 2.38, 17 strikeouts over those 11 and a third innings. So far, so very good for Jackson Rutledge as a reliever.
He has kind of quietly been their most effective reliever, most consistently effective reliever outside of Kyle Finnegan, and maybe given Finnegan's couple of rough games here recently, you can even say that Rutledge has been better. Now, the difference is he's not pitching in high leverage spots for the most part. Will we see him get a chance at that? I don't know. It feels like that might be worth it, especially because, this game aside, they've been getting length from their starters, as we've noted. So it's not like you have to hold on to Rutledge as your, 3-inning long man. They've used him in some shorter bursts, 1 inning or 2 innings. So maybe there is an opportunity to see him in a situation of more consequence and see how that works out. We've seen with Henry, there's some things to like aside from one ugly outing the other day in a blowout game. Maybe there's something from Rutledge to see in that spot too. And all of a sudden, all these concerns about who can you trust late in games and in tight ball games, you don't necessarily have to go with the experienced guys, but there are some young arms that might have actually earned the right to pitch in those spots ahead of the veterans.
13.5 strikeouts per 9 innings for Jackson Rutledge in this limited sample size. Quite good.
LinkedIn Jobs is here to help small business owners with that crucial step of making the right hires. LinkedIn makes it easy to post your job for free, share it with your network, and get qualified candidates you can manage all in one place. Here's how it works. Simply post your job, and LinkedIn's new feature can help you write job descriptions and then quickly get your job in front of the right people with deep candidate insights. You can either post your job for free or pay to promote it, and promoted jobs get 3 times more qualified candidates. Find out why more than 2.5 million small businesses use LinkedIn for hiring today. Find your next great hire on LinkedIn. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/natschat. That's linkedin.com/natschat to post your job for free. LinkedIn.com/natschat. Terms and conditions apply.
I'm excited to tell you about the designs Homage has cooked up for the 2025 MLB season. If you're as baseball obsessed as I am, you'll love the full roster of major league looks from Homage. Amazing comfort and deep cut designs that help fans show off passion for their favorite teams. Homage has a massive selection that tells the story of the greatest sport from its very beginnings. Deep logo history, coast-to-coast stadium tours, and the biggest players from every era. Legends never die at Homage. If you need your new shirt for going to a ball game, Homage has you covered with its most comfortable fan clothing, and it's available for fans of all ages. This year's collection hits dinger after dinger after tater after tater. Fleece, tees, bottoms, and more. And don't forget to check out the new starter jacket lineup, an iconic dugout look you don't want to miss. Heroes get remembered, but legends never die, and these looks go long, period. Check out the Homage MLB collection to find your team's coolest gear.
Inspired by Judy Blume's groundbreaking 1975 novel Forever, watch the reimagined coming-of-age series about young love by Mara Brock-Akil, the iconic creator of Girlfriends. The epic love story follows 2 Black teens, Keisha and Justin, as they explore romance and their identities through the awkward journey of being each other's firsts. Watch Forever, premiering May 8th only on Netflix.
NetCredit is here to say yes to a personal loan or line of credit when other lenders say no. Apply in minutes and get a decision as soon as the same day. Loans offered by NetCredit or lending partner banks and serviced by NetCredit. Application subject to review and approval. Learn more at netcredit.com/partners. NetCredit. Credit to the people.
Pinckney takes the lead. There he goes. The pitch is clocked towards center. Marsh is going back, slowing down as he looks up, and it's gone again for Hassel. His second home run of the game. He's 7 for his last 7, and it is 6-1 Red Wings.
Lot going on in Rochester's 15-14 victory over the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs on Friday night. Michael Soroka struck out 11 in 5 innings of work, allowing just 1 run in his rehab start. Offensively, Robert Hassel III and Brady House each had 4 hits, a pair of homers for Hassel III, and Dalen Lyle in the leadoff spot, recently promoted from Double-A. He had 3 hits, 2 of which were doubles. Now back to the show.
Bell, the open stance, knees slightly bent. Moving that bat up and down as he awaits. Greene's kick and pitch, swing, and a line drive hit to deep right field. This is way back, and this ball is gone. Goodbye. A line drive home run for Josh Bell on a 99-mile-an-hour fastball right about the belt and to the inner half of the plate. He got around on that one. It's his 5th home run of the year and his 14th run batted in. It's the Reds 5 and the Nationals 1.
Well, the Nats offense in this 6-1 loss at the Reds on Friday night got stymied by one of the best pitchers in baseball, Hunter Greene. The Nats in this game, 1 run, 4 hits, which were a home run and 3 singles. The Nats did work 4 walks, but the Nats went 0 for 1 with runners in scoring position. 1 at-bat the entire game with a runner in scoring position. And the Nats struck out a whopping 17 times. Hunter Greene was the Red starting pitcher. 1 run in 6 innings, 12 strikeouts on a staggering 114 pitches, but 83 strikes versus just 31 balls. With Greene, there was how effective he was. There were how many strikeouts he accumulated. And there was this pitch count, which was something else, man. 114 pitches over 6 innings.
Okay, here's the crazy thing. I assumed as a relatively young guy that this had to be the most he's ever thrown. No, he threw 118 as a rookie in 2022. And he's had several other big league starts at 110 or more. He is a workhorse. He is a legit burgeoning young ace with electric stuff. And apparently he likes to throw and throw a lot and is very comfortable with it. And the previous management here and current manager Terry Francona are okay with it. How did he get to 114 pitches when he was so dominant over only 6 innings? This is the craziest stat of all. The Nationals fouled off 40 of those 114 pitches. I don't think I've ever seen a total that high, certainly not over an entire game, just over 6 innings. So what does that tell you? Is that suggest that they were close to doing something against him? Or does it suggest that this guy's stuff is so good that the best they could do is just barely get the bat on the ball and foul it off? I think it leans more towards that Greene's stuff is that good. You're talking about not just a 100-mile-an-hour fastball, but it's got movement on it. He throws a sharp slider and a bowling ball splitter that drops off the plate. That's as good a pitching performance as I've seen this year. And this wasn't a one-off for him. He is kind of ascending now into this role of the ace of this staff, really one of the bright young starting pitchers in the game. So as ugly as it looked, I don't think you should read too much into this or put too much blame on the Nationals for not being able to put up anything against him.
It just was so funny because as Greene's pitch count was going up, I'm saying to myself, well, the Nats are making him work, and so he should be out of the game relatively quickly, and that didn't happen. Now, he only lasted 6 innings. I mean, he didn't go like 8, but, with the way that pitch count was going, you thought that he might not get to 6, maybe he wouldn't even get to 5, and instead he ends up having that really good outing. That was some outing, though. 12 strikeouts, 114 pitches in allowing 1 run in 6 innings. The Nats' 1 run in this game came via a home run from Josh Bell, who needs all the success he can get right now. It's good to see him homer. He is the Nats' starting DH and number 6 batter, went 1 for 3 with a solo homer, a leadoff homer to right field on a 1-2 pitch to cut the Nats' deficit to 5-1. But he left the game due to a tweaked groin muscle, got pinch hit for. What do we know about Josh Bell?
So in his 3rd at-bat, he homered in the 2nd at-bat. In his 3rd at-bat, he hits a ground ball to the right side and didn't run super hard down the line because he felt something and then was very careful coming back to the dugout after that. And so David Martinez didn't take any chances. He pinch hit for him in the 9th inning. Now, Josh himself didn't sound overly concerned about it. He was kind of hoping to stay in the game. He understands why they pulled him. He said it got looked at, kind of the initial exam leaves him fairly confident that it's not anything to be that worried about.
I wasn't quite sure if it was worse than it is, and after getting tested, it doesn't seem like it's going to be too bad.
He was planning to get some treatment overnight and hope that he's good to go on Saturday. They're facing a lefty. He's really struggled against lefties in addition to overall his struggles. I would not be surprised if Davey just gives him the day off regardless. don't take any chances, and then maybe we see him again on Sunday. But something to watch. It was good to see him get a hold of that one. I mean, he took a 99-mile-an-hour fastball and crushed it on a line. Like, that ball barely had time to rise. It just went on a straight line to the right field bleachers. That's good. He feels like I know the numbers have been awful, but he feels like he's close in that he's hitting balls in the air, but he's not hitting them with that kind of authority. And he feels like once that gets going, he can get on a roll. I looked at the numbers, over his career. His April numbers almost always have been awful. It's his worst month. May has traditionally been his best month of the season. Maybe this is a start of something. If you're going to hit a home run to get going, this is a pretty good guy to do it off of. Maybe it's a little shot of confidence for him.
Well, he got pinch hit for by Amed Rosario. As people listening may remember, last year, another guy with the last name of Rosario, Eddie Rosario, got off to a terrible start, terrible in April, and then remember had that really good May. And we were like, who is this guy? This is a polar opposite of the guy we saw in April. So maybe we see Josh Bell do something similar. He has played a lot. I mean, he's been in that lineup seemingly every day. So for him to have a day off might not be the worst thing in the world, even though we did homer on Friday night.
Right. And again, facing a lefty, that might be a good excuse to do some different things. And as we've talked about with the DH, I think there's value in using that spot to give other guys a sort of half day off and let a James Wood serve as the DH and stay out of the outfield, or even a Keibert Ruiz or a Dylan Cruz. I mean, anybody you could do that with and find some value in that. So I would think they might try to use Saturday for that. I hope they do. And there's no shame, even if he's going well, there's no shame in giving Josh Bell a day off. There's nothing wrong with that.
So speaking of Saturday, game 2 of this series, Saturday evening at 6:40, Trevor Williams will be the Nats starting pitcher. As we discussed on the last installment of the podcast, there is rain all over the forecast for Cincinnati this weekend. Obviously, we had the substantial delay to the start of Friday evening's game, and I guess we'll just kind of hold on tight and see what happens with Saturday. I was looking at the forecast. It's supposed to rain a lot during the day, maybe ease up as the day goes on. So perhaps this game gets in with no problems. Hopefully that's the case, but no guarantees here. You mentioned the Nats have an off day coming up on Thursday. There are not many off days right now for the Nats. I don't know if they would benefit from a non-scheduled off day because obviously you have to make up the game. So whatever good is done by not having a game for a day is maybe undone by having 2 games in one day. But the Nats have been playing a lot lately. There have not been many opportunities for rest here for the Nationals here over the last week or two.
No, there haven't. I feel like they're in decent shape physically and pitching-wise, that they would probably be better off playing Saturday regardless, as opposed to maybe having to play 2 on Sunday. And as we discussed, the big Flying Pig Marathon Sunday morning, which is why the game isn't until 4. So if it is a doubleheader, my hunch is that it's like a 4 o'clock straight doubleheader, which is not very appealing because now you're leaving town pretty late. It'd be their second Sunday afternoon, evening doubleheader in 3 weeks. I don't think they want to have to do that, especially because they play on Monday at home. So I guess they'll wait it out. They'll hope that Saturday night is good enough, but it has the potential to be a long weekend here, as we discussed, and it was a long Friday night because of a nearly 2-hour rain delay. This was supposed to be an early game, a fireworks Friday with a 6:10 start. We end up not starting the game until 8 o'clock, and it ends at about 10:45.
This installment of Nats Chat brought to us by the composer of the Nats Chat podcast music, Tim Newmark. Check out his work via his website, timnewmark.com, Neumark. And we thank Tim for all the work that he has provided to this podcast over the years. You tell us what you think. Hit us up on X at Nats_chat. Find us on Blue Sky at Nats Chat Podcast. You can email the show, natschatpodcast@gmail.com. All Nationals radio highlights on Nats Chat are courtesy of 106.7 The Fan. For Mark Zuckerman, I'm Al Galdi. We thank you for listening, and we'll talk to you next time on the Nats Chat Podcast.
Here it comes. Kisner swings and laces one to center. That's a base hit. Lipscomb scores. Pinckney coming home. The throw to the plate, not in time. Kisner wins the game with a 2-run single to center field. The Red Wings beat Lehigh Valley 15-14.
At Capella University, learning online doesn't mean learning alone. You'll get dedicated support from people who care about your success. A different future is closer than you think with Capella University. Learn more at capella.edu.